We start in Greece, which is waiting on edge today for a European decision on whether to reopen debt negotiations, after legislators in Athens agreed to a controversial bailout package earlier today. The proposed bailout package offered concessions to Greece's creditors in exchange for debt relief. European finance ministers are expected to deliver a decision on whether to reopen negotiations over a new bailout deal sometime in the next few hours. Creditors are demanding Greece achieve a budget surplus target of 1 to 3% over the next 3 years, but do not believe the government will be able to reach this target. The people who ruled us for the last 5 years brought us to this dead end, and they are the ones to blame. There are no good options for us. So now what I'd say is Syriza and Tsipras have to be very careful from now on, much more careful than their predecessors, so we don't find ourselves in this dead end again.
Pope Francis arrived to Paraguay's capital, Asunción, on Friday afternoon, on the third and final leg of his South American tour. He was received by the President of Paraguay, Horacio Cartes, and the Vatican's ambassador in Paraguay, Archbishop Eliseo Arioto. Thousands of Paraguayans took the streets to welcome the first Latin American Pope, and they hope his visit will help the country overcome its difficulties.
May the Pope bless all Paraguayans, and may we always be united, and may our country improve.
According to the organizers, at least 60,000 people formed a line from the airport to the residence of the Vatican ambassador, where Pope Francis headed after arriving in Paraguay. The participation of the youth was one of the highlights.
What really caught my attention the most about the Pope is his humbleness. That and the name that he chose for his pontificate, which represents St. Francis.
An estimated 2 million people from other Latin American countries, such as Argentina and Brazil, have come to Asunción to see the head of the Catholic Church.
This Pope is a very modest person. It's all very exciting. I'm really excited. I came from Brazil just to meet the Pope.
In some of his first statements, the Pope encouraged Paraguayan society to build a stronger democracy and called for the end of violence, corruption and drug traffic. Laureano Ponce, Telesur, Asunción, Paraguay.
Marking Arbor Day, Mexico's President Enrique Peña Nieto praised his administration's dedication to reforestation and its commitment to preserving the environment, claiming that more than 450,000 hectares have been planted since 2012.
Our forests and jungles are the source of life and well-being that we must conserve and preserve for the future.
However, a day prior to his announcement, Peña Nieto signed a decree to expropriate 37 hectares of communal land from the indigenous Otomí community, San Francisco Xochicuautla, for a public-private highway project. Community members say the rejection to the project is for their great-grandchildren, rather than the future the president speaks of.
History will ask us, what did Xochicuautla do? And well, in this case, I'm here for my great-grandchildren, not even for my grandchildren, because they have grown up. But for my great-grandchildren, I have 20, and I'm here for them.
For 8 years, the community has struggled against this so-called mega-project that will connect the metropolitan region of Mexico City to the city of Toluca. They affirm that their constitutional rights as indigenous peoples has been violated and believe that the project will open the door to future privatization of their territory and natural resources.
This project is like a declaration of future evictions, as to open up business possibilities for Peña Nieto and construction firms Grupo Higa and OHL, which include the train project and real estate speculation.
Here among the forests of the community, townspeople maintain a barricade and protest camp so as to impede the construction and their eviction. Yet they say the defense of their land goes beyond the borders of their territory.
We have learned that it's not just Xochicuautla that they are hurting, but also at a national level. The government has messed with all the communities because it brings its projects, mega projects of death. They want to step on us. They want to make us disappear. The government wants us to disappear.
The community affirms that they will fight the decree to expropriate their lands in the courts, while at the same time maintain their civil resistance and protest actions. Clayton Khan, Telesur, Mexico.
Just like every other Friday for the last month, thousands of Hondurans are gathering in the street of Tegucigalpa to protest in what is now known as the torch demonstration. The protesters are demanding a more profound investigation in corruption cases that involve public officials of the past government of Porfirio Lobo Sosa and the current government of Juan Hernandez in the robbery of more than $500 million from different public institutions. They are also demanding the immediate resignation of President Juan Hernandez and the creation of the International Anti-Impunity Commission to put an end to corruption and impunity in the country.
Tyrannical governments are part of a neoliberal philosophy. Dictatorial governments are part of a capitalist economic system. The United States cannot come here and say they are in favour of this, but they are in favour of the mobilisation of the people, because it's not true. It's not true. They proved it in 2009, and they keep on proving it. Hundreds of people held a rally in Taiwan's capital today, demanding lawmakers pass a marriage equality bill currently held up in committee. Demonstrators gathered in front of the headquarters of the island's two main political parties, the Kuomintang Party and the Democratic Progressive Party, as well as its parliament. The protesters carried banners and rainbow flags through the streets of Taipei as they pressed the government to legalize same-sex marriage. Tens of thousands gathered at a cemetery near Srebrenica in Bosnia today to mark the 20th anniversary of Europe's worst atrocity since World War II. Abandoned by the United Nations protectors towards the end of the 1992 to 1995 war, 8,000 Muslim men and boys were killed by Bosnian Serb forces over 5 July days. More than 1,000 victims have yet to be found. A UN court has ruled the massacre was a genocide. However, many Serbs dispute the term, and the death toll in the official account.
This is Documentary. Watch it on telesur.net/English. Telesur, wherever the news, you'll be there.